Hey David, my name's Chris, and I wanted to reply to your video, Dear Atheist. Hey, first of all, I had a real funny thing that occurred to me while I was watching your video. You know, you said something about DC Talk as a past tense, like they're an old band and everything. You know, those of us that are in our 30s, we still think of DC Talk as pretty cool, so, you cutting on them like they're an old has-been, that hurt a little bit, but that's all right. I won't hold that against you. Anyway, on to the question of, do the way Christians live their lives influence those who are atheist? And when I hear questions like that, I like to turn the question around. Do the way atheists or agnostics live their lives affect the way I believe, the way I see things as a Christian? That's the question that I wanted to ask myself and ask your viewers. When one thing that seems to occur when atheists or agnostics hold a mirror up to our faith and the way we live and the things we do, we get real defensive and polarized, and we demonize, and we kind of put our dukes up and want to fight. And I think sometimes the best thing we can do is listen. And I know you're in the business of challenging believers to live the life of faith, to live a transformational life. And man, I think that's so important, and I'm just so glad that you were one of those people on the front lines doing that. But one thing I really want us to ask is, when somebody does hold up a mirror to our faith, are we going to look at the reflection? Are we going to look at what they're saying to us? Or are we going to just try to deny and ridicule and blast them and hopefully somehow bullying them into believing? Because the one thing that I've come to believe is that I've never in my life heard anyone, as part of their testimony, as part of their faith walk, said, I became a believer because I lost an argument. I've never heard anybody say that. So to all the believers out there and the atheists alike, I think we really need to engage each other in an honest and open, non-polarizing, non-demonizing way. And try to learn from each other, because the fact of the matter is, I'm never going to be able to argue you into believing the way I believe. Much the same, you're never going to be able to argue me into believing the way you believe. And that's just one of those things that's going to happen. But there is a possibility that as human beings who exist on the same planet, breathe the same air, live the same lives, but just kind of look at it a little differently, can we learn from each other? Can we learn something and grow? And of course, what does growth mean? That's perspective based too. So anyway, there's my thoughts on that. And one final thought on David, you said something about believing in creation and evolution. God in His majesty, could He not design into each and every being on the face of the planet the ability to adapt? If somebody wants to call that evolution, that's fine, but I would maybe look at that as a continuation of the design and the creation that was set in place by God. And if you want to put a title to it of evolution, I don't know if I buy that, but there's something to be said for God's incredible design, God's incredible abilities to see the way He could design in adaptability into creatures. Call that a circular argument if you want, but there it is, just a little response from my end. Sorry, that got to be over 4 minutes long.